Hey y'all, it's Shaggy here.
And this is Matt.
And you are watching The Shack. So we just watched the first episode of Velma, which you can find on HBO Max. Velma is supposed to be a spin-off from the beloved show
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo. And she's obviously supposed to be the character Velma, and the other characters are also on the spin-off too. But there are a lot of differences from the characters from the original that are on the spin-off. And like I said, we've only watched the first episode. I think they currently have 4 episodes listed. I don't know if they're only going to have 4 episodes or that's just what's been released right now. But after watching the first episode, I can say that I am not excited about finishing off this season.
We're gonna watch the rest of the episodes just to reveal them. But if they're anything like the first episode, it's gonna be rough. So it's gonna be a long journey because this first episode, oh my God, it's bad. Let me give you the overview of this real quick. I'm reading it straight off of the HBO.
Wait for this.
The overview it says, after a teenage outcast, Velma Dinkley is accused of killing a popular classmate. She has just 24 hours to find the real murderer. There's only one problem. Velma was sworn off solving mysteries forever.
Yeah.
And that's a brief overview, but really it's more to it. She's sworn off mysteries because her mom went missing, and ever since her mom went missing, she has just sworn not to go trying to solve mysteries herself, which makes no sense because I would think like that would be the number one mystery that you would be trying to fucking solve. But that's part of the story. And her classmate, she's accused of killing her classmate because her classmate's dead body was found in her locker. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's basically the overview of first episode and kind of the series. The series is, she's trying to solve the mysteries of her classmates that keep coming up dead, basically. And at the same time, she's trying to solve the mystery of her mother. Even though the episode we watched, she's not trying to solve the mystery, I feel like that's what it's leading to.
Yeah, like that's what this season's going to be based off of.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and it's nothing like Scooby Doo like previously.
This is nothing like Scooby Doo. If you're expecting Scooby Doo anything, this is not like Scooby Doo, and I don't even understand why this is even connected to Scooby Doo. It would have been better if they just renamed it something else with all new characters and all new everything, because it just has nothing to do with Scooby Doo. The characters are totally different. From the characters in Scooby Doo. I mean, they're the same characters. You know what I mean? Like, they're the same people. Like, there's Velma, there's
Fred.
There's...
Well, they changed Shaggy's name and character.
They changed Shaggy, but basically there's a black guy on the show. I don't even remember his name.
Warren?
I don't know. But the black guy in here is basically like Shaggy's character. But they just took Shaggy out and put the black guy in. It just makes no sense, because why even do a Scooby Doo if you're going to change every single character? Every single character is different from Scooby Doo, and I'm not talking about just Scooby Doo the animated series, but Scooby Doo the movies, anything you know about Scooby Doo is not going to be this. It's totally different.
On top of that,
it just would make more sense just to do a brand new show and call it something else.
On top of that, there's no Scooby-Doo.
There is no Scooby-Doo.
There's no dog,
no dog.
No puppy, no different animal. Like the Mike Tyson series kind of has a little animal that goes along with it. There's no pet. There's no none of that. It's just there's no Scooby-Doo, which I love the aspect of them having a pet, like adding to it, especially a dog at that. But they could have given her a cat and it still would have been interesting. But there's none of that.
There's nothing. Velma is hallucinating constantly.
Yeah.
They don't really explain that, and that's not something from Scooby-Doo, because Velma was always the one who mentally was kind of tight. You know what I'm saying? She would lose her glasses and shit like that, but mentally she was always the one that was like always there. You know what I mean? And on this one, she is scatterbrained. She is a dumb girl trying to play smart in this. That's her character, basically. She's someone. Her character is a dumb girl trying to play smart or trying to act smart. You know, it's like she talks down to everyone, but also fucks up everything.
Yeah, and the whole layout of the episode was just terrible. Like, it starts off with her basically bashing Scooby Doo, like the series. Which is pretty odd for a spin-off because it's kind of like you're bashing the original, even
you're
though
bashing
you're about
what built the foundation for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes no sense.
You're bashing your foundation. Yeah, perfect.
No one would even watch this if it wasn't connected to Scooby Doo at all. No, if this was just a standalone cartoon myself, no one would even watch this. It's terrible.
And then it's definitely not for anything near a kid age. It's
that's another thing
sexualized.
Too. That's something else that threw me off as I was watching it. She pointed it out to me about like it's super sexualized, because I was kind of half paying attention in the beginning, but then I looked up and I was like, man, it's just nothing but naked cartoons.
Naked, boobs out, butts out, just super sexualized,
super sexual
talking
language.
Yes, about sex and sluttiness and things like that of the sorts. It's just very raunchy, which I guess it's partially fine by itself if it wasn't for the fact that it's a spin-off from a child's cartoon, but even then it's a little over the top. Like, at first you watch it and you think Adult Swim, but it's just so like hyper focused on everything sex that it's almost a little uncomfortable, because you're like, okay, like, we get it, like, let's move on.
And that's kind of another thing that makes it so terrible to me, because it's like, it doesn't, like, who is the demographic for this? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're making this, you know, there's two ways I feel like you can go about it. You can say, all right, I'm gonna make this for the Scooby Doo fans that are now a little bit older, but they still want to see like new Scooby Doo content,
right? Which
would be people probably in their 30s and 40s and whatever. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, and you're doing it for that, then why shit on all of the old characters, change all of the characters, take out the main characters that people like? If you're making it for the Scooby-Doo diehards, why would you just fuck up the whole roster, you know? And then shit on the cast in the way you talk about it. And then it's like, okay, maybe the second way they can go about it is making it for like a new crowd of people who want to watch Scooby-Doo, who would be like probably of younger age, considering this is an animated cartoon, and it's like kids cannot watch this. No. You know, like this is too. It's like it's very vulgar, very raunchy, very sexual. This is not for kids. This is like you know, past like The Simpsons and Family Guy. Like it's raunchy.
Far past it.
Yes, it is like worse than that. Like, so it's like this is made for no one. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not for kids. You know, they're not trying to get new Scooby-Doo fans. It's not for kids. Kids can't watch this. It's crazy. You know, it's not for the old Scooby-Doo diehards, because we want to see Scooby-Doo, and Scooby-Doo ain't even in this shit.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely don't feel like they did a good job of identifying their target audience and like truly trying to speak to it, because they don't have are making a hard attempt at like this level of just like wokeness and everyone has to be of a certain color, everyone has to be of a certain demographic, we have to throw this in there and this aspect in there, and it's just like a hard fail. It's overdone. Like I said, it's super raunchy, super sexualized. And the
jokes, or the attempts at jokes, are fucking terrible.
It's painful. It's not mystery solving at all. Like when they get to the end of the episode and they're like, oh, glad that was done. It's just not cohesive. It doesn't flow. You're almost confused. Like, wait, did you just solve a mystery? Really though? Like, it wasn't like what Scooby-Doo was. There's no hints. There's no clues. They're just doing whatever.
And part of the fun of watching Scooby-Doo, because Scooby-Doo, that's like my era. You know what I'm saying? And part of the fun of watching Scooby-Doo, and part of the fun of watching any kind of detective series or any kind of what do you call it, like mystery series, is you as the viewer, you like want to try to solve the case before they solve the case. So when you're watching it, you like when they get clues, you're like, oh, okay, maybe it's this. Then you talk with whoever's watching it with you, like who you think it is, who I think it's this person. There's none of that. There's no clues. There's no real like ordinal like finding of clues or evidence, or like there's nothing that could lead you to any kind of conclusion as to what the fuck is going on. It's just like it's like somebody with ADHD wrote this shit. Like there's a room full of 10 people with ADHD talking all at the same time, and they wrote this. That is exactly how this plays out. You're watching the first scene. You're in the shower. Velma, I can't even talk. Velma is talking to the girls in the shower, all naked. She's just basically shitting on the old Scooby Doo. And then you watch the next scene, they're at a diner eating. Then you watch the next scene, they're talking to her pregnant sister. Then they watch the next scene, and her pregnant sister's naked.
That's her stepmom.
Stepmom, whatever. Stepmom's naked. Then you watch the next scene, they introduce this black dude out of nowhere. They don't give us no backstory on who this nigga is. He just pops up out of nowhere. And then you introduce the next scene, he like, oh, I got a crush on Velma. And then Velma like, I ain't messing with you. Then you introduce the next scene, you got Fred coming behind a dumpster for no reason. They don't explain what the fuck he's doing behind the dumpster. He just comes out of nowhere. It's like they're writing a story and somebody in the room just said, Fred just came out of we could just have Fred come out of that dumpster. And nobody thinks to explain why would he be behind a dumpster in the first fucking place?
But even pause there, because like he hasn't even said all the scenes in the show, and it was only 20 minutes. And so like that just kind of speaks to how all over the place scenes and
there's more just unexplained randomness in this that it's just like
what is
I don't even understand how you can put that much just random unexplained plot hole after plot hole after plot hole in 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's just no good story writing. And then it's so crazy because like you said, it's clearly not geared towards kids, right? Just based off of the sexual content
or people
alone.
who like Scooby Doo.
But then it's also odd because a lot of like little things they do are just so immature, childish. Like there's this one part where they think Fred killed the girl because she figured out he had no leg hairs. Something that's like only a middle schooler would be like, oh, no leg hairs, and the rest of us are just like, what? Like, what is even going on right now? Like what? Like it's just odd because like I said, and like he said, like there is no identified target audience in this. Like they're bouncing between adult content and child content, and it's just painful to watch.
There are movies like Toy Story, and there's a long list of cartoons that you could watch with like a parent like myself could watch with their kid or with their
for sure
preteen kid or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We could watch it together, maybe like not weird or not like what the fuck, why am I letting you watch it, you know what I'm saying? But this is
Incredibles, like it'll have adult humor and have action, but it's child friendly and it's geared, towards children with the idea that their parents are watching it with them.
Yeah, and like even like I said, like even if I have like a preteen kid or something, like we could sit down, we could watch Family Guy, we could watch The Simpsons, it's not a big deal. But this, oh hell no.
No.
Oh no, this right? No, man. Yeah, it's too much shit I'm gonna have to explain.
Oh God.
It's too much. It's too much. And too much sexual stuff I'm gonna have to explain. Like, no.
Even turn off. Like you don't want to be sitting with your son or your daughter, and you have a bunch of like naked women pop up on screen. I mean, fully blown.
And they had a whole naked wrestling match.
Animated butts, yes. Talking about, oh, you guys should kiss right now. That would be so hot.
Fucking go watch this just to see the naked wrestling match either.
No, but it's
because I know y'all out there think about that. The shit, it's not worth it.
No, it's not like a turn on, but it's just like I said, awkward, uncomfortable. Literally, we'll stop in the middle and be like, "Oh my God, it would be so hot if you guys kiss right now." In the middle of the scene on like Velma, and it's just odd. Like, it's just odd. So, anyways, that was just episode 1.
There's so much more terrible shit.
Yeah.
You can shit on this one episode for another 20 minutes, and probably still would hit everything. This shit is terrible. The first, and another point, the main characters in this are all the women, essentially. And the supporting characters in this are all the men. The women uses the men in this to just shit on them and to just use them. Every man character in this is either a fucking idiot or has some type, or he's like deficient in some way. They use all the men characters in this as like whipping boards for the women characters. Basically, it is terrible.
Yeah.
What's the character? White guy's name? Fred.
Yeah.
Fred. Who, if you remember, was like the leader of the old Scooby Doo. He was the
shits on him from the very
From
start.
the very first scene, they frame him as a guy who damn near can't even read and write. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just a moron. He's an idiot. You know, and all he's there for is looks. That's how they frame him. It's the guy, the character that's there for looks, who's an idiot. You know, and then Shaggy is a simp. What we would call a simp. I don't really know what that means, but a simp. He's just like following her. I know you know what it means. I'm saying like the viewers. I don't know what it means, but he's just a simp. You know, he's in love with Velma, and she's just laughing in his face, shitting on him the whole time. He's like, girl, I really like you. I really have feelings for you, and I really think like we should be together. She's like, oh my God, you're such a comedian. I would never. She just shitting on him right in his face.
Exactly. It was, if I loved humor, then you'd be the guy for me. And laughs at him and walks. This just an asshole.
It's like, wow. But it's so bad. It's just so bad. It's so bad. Like, and that's another thing. It's like, okay, clearly don't want men to watch this shit because any man with any kind of self-respect is gonna be like, damn, what the fuck y'all got us looking bad out here? Like, that's what y'all think of us?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. And then like women, if any woman with any kind of intelligence, I feel like it's gonna watch this and be like, damn, they making us look bad. Because they got the women on this shit looking bad. Like all we are is about is sex. All we have is our titties and our vaginas.
Which is so odd.
It's bad.
It is interesting. I feel like this season or these next 3 episodes is going to be painful to watch. We'll keep you guys updated, but do not have high hopes if you plan to watch this.
We're going to rate this first episode, and I'm telling you, this is going to be quick. Scale of 1 to 10.
Should we say it together on the
scale of 1 to 10? 1 being the worst. Well, 0 to 10. Yeah. 0 to 10. 0 is just fucking unwatchable. Don't want you got that time. 10, best movie I've ever seen. Couldn't be improved if you fucking tried. On a scale of 0 to 10, I'm giving this shit.
Wait. We should count down and see if we do the same thing.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 0. Fucking donut. This shit is trash.
I would
do not fucking watch this shit.
No.
Don't waste your fucking time. If it's between watching this shit and being tarred and feathered, get the motherfucking tar and the feather. Fuck this. This shit is the worst shit ever. I'd rather get a goddamn root canal and watch this shit over again.
No, yeah. Get you a good book. Read your book. I mean, yeah.